I'm not saying I'm perfect in any way. I'm not saying that I got my shit together, because clearly I don't. I think for me, I used to think it was always depression because that's what other people were telling me. But I'm starting to understand that a lot of the things that I've experienced was actually anxiety and not depression, because I never had the emotions that I hate my life, or I'm just saying, like, after being out of teenage years, as an adult, like, I want to say within the past 5 or 7 years, I never was, like, the type of person that was depressed or hated my life or was afraid, or I don't know how to explain it, but, like, I was just, like, some of the feelings that I think, like, as I'm, like, researching about it and learning and talking, like, over to professionals over the years, they've all told me, like, no, that's not depression, honey. That's anxiety. What you're experiencing is anxiety, and it's normal to feel those emotions. And anxiety is mostly stems from fear, and I deal with a lot of fear, and that's something I need to work on. And yes, I'm pushing it all back up in the ponytail. Yeah, so it's a lot. It's a lot of hair. But my hair. And no, I didn't comb it. I brushed it. I finger combed it. I know some people are gonna have something to say about that. Like, you didn't even brush your hair. No, I didn't. I finger combed it. And that's one thing about my hair. I'm all over the place, guys. I'm sorry. One thing about my hair is that I don't like using a brush on it. If anything, if I do use a brush, it's to, like, get the kinks out of the roots of my hair, like up here. But to get the kinks out on the ends, I like to finger comb it so that it's less breakage. And I may be gross saying this, but sometimes I don't wash my hair for a month. And then I'll do, like, a protective style. To some people, buns are not protective styles, but they actually are. Buns are essentials to growing your hair. I think that because I'm not really big on braids, I use the buns. Look, I can't win when it comes to this shit. This is the reason why I don't do hair. I can do hair on little girls, and I can do my husband's hair, but this I can't do. Like, the only thing I know how to do to my hair is buns, leave it out, and straighten it. Like, any other styles, I don't know what the fuck the hell to do with this shit. Like, I'll be ready to chop it all off. It is what it is. But yeah, when it comes to anxiety, I usually just know what my triggers are. But before, my problem is that I went to cigarettes to cope with my anxiety, and now that I'm becoming aware of what my triggers are, I don't really smoke anymore like I used to. I think for me, my triggers for smoking now are coffee and eating. But for the most part, I don't really smoke. I think I smoke about like 5 or 6 cigarettes a day, and the rest Leon smokes. I don't really gravitate towards the cigarette anymore because I'm learning how to cope with my anxiety. My thing with my anxiety was that I went and do like what the typical like reactions when you deal with anxiety. My anxiety used to be, sorry guys, I had to rush out the door to go to work, and I'm done. It was pretty much like an hour or 2 of work, and it wasn't really anything exciting. I only had 2 tables. I only made $20, so it was really dead. So they were like that some people can go home, which I had no problem with because I really don't feel good. I don't know if you guys can tell my voice. My throat hurts a little bit, and I'm starting to get congested. So, but back to the conversation I was trying to have with you guys about anxiety and depression. I dealt with depression as a teenager. My issues as a teenager stemmed from my childhood before that. And I also believe that birth control was the cause of me having severe depression. I was on Prozac, and then I went from Prozac to Depakote. And Depakote, I had a severe reaction off of it. So they took me off of that, and then they put me back on Prozac and something else. But it was like a low dosage. Like, it wasn't something like I was on something. It wasn't like I was on something that was extremely like potent, or I needed something to really maintain my behavior or anything like that. And one thing I've learned over the years, especially after talking to professionals and everything, and seeing if maybe I'm just going crazy or if I had postpartum depression or whatnot, they all told me that it wasn't that depression and I wasn't having behavior problems. The things that I was experiencing over the years was anxiety, and I never knew that. I always assumed that me being aggressive and lashing out and being violent was being bipolar. And from what I was told was that that wasn't the case, that I was actually having a panic attack. And I never thought of it that way until I actually sat down and reflected on it and actually realized that indeed I was having panic attacks. I just didn't know it because I was misdiagnosed. I was told that I had bipolar. I was told that I was medically depressed. And so now that I think about it and I'm able to be aware of the triggers that causes my anxiety, I'm able to breathe back. I'm able to count down my breathing. So I'll just do like 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. And then there's times where I'll repeat affirmations to myself. I am beautiful. I am enough. I am safe. I am okay. Like certain little small things that would bring my mind back to where I am, to allow myself not to freak out, because I am the type of person that will freak out. I will get frustrated and then I will lash out and I will start screaming. I will want to throw things and throw punches, and I'm not trying to be that person. So it took a lot out of me, and I think that's why I'm not the type of person that likes to spank. I tell my kids all the time, "Papao," and it's not so much of a threat, because when they do push that button, they get that papao. So I don't necessarily resort to spanking as the number one discipline in our family, because 1, there's too many kids, 2, they're all different people, and 3, I've learned over the I want to say the last 12 years that taking stuff from them hurts them more than hitting them. And it took me a while to understand that with my own kids, because I grew up with getting my ass whooped all the time. I grew up getting beat with extension cords and belts and who knows what. So and I didn't grow up to be like a bad person, but I'm starting to see now that, that wasn't the right way to go about it, because that's not what I wanted. And when I think about it now, it's like, that's not the kind of discipline I wanted. That's not the kind of attention I wanted. I mean, I believe that certain things does require you to react in a physical way. If they're harming themselves or they're doing something, say if they bite somebody, the effect of that as an adult is you get locked up, or somebody's going to whip your ass, or you spit on somebody, or you call them a name. Certain things I feel like requires a physical discipline, and then there's some things that you can just talk to your kids about and explain to them where they're right and wrong and about making mistakes. I always remind my kids all the time that it's okay to make a mistake. We're all growing. You're still growing. I'm still growing, and I'm still learning. I make mistakes, and if I do something wrong, you have to talk to me about it, because if I don't know if I did something wrong, or I could have did something differently to make you feel different, I can't change that. So yeah, it's just, everything is all stems from something that happened in your past when it comes to anxiety, whether if you don't realize it. And most people don't realize that humiliation can cause anxiety. Something that happened when you were a kid, when you were bullied, or an experience that made you really humiliated will give you anxiety, and it will trigger that like thing in your mind to, if something feels the same way that you felt that one time at one point in your past, you're going to have an anxiety attack. And I never knew that. Like, I never knew that a situation that happened to me in high school that humiliated me and made me feel so little could cause triggers in the future for me to have anxiety or to have panic attacks. And that's from what I was told, based off of professional opinion. I'm not a professional, so don't quote me, because everybody practices different. You know, not everybody practices the same techniques that I practice or what was given to me to help me with my anxiety. So I use affirmations, I count to myself, and then sometimes you just have to get your ass the fuck up. Get your ass up. That's why you see a lot of women on YouTube that do cleaning videos, because it's therapeutic. I know it sounds retarded, but washing dishes is therapeutic for me. Cleaning is therapeutic for me. I can turn on my music, dance, clean, and then you're doing something healthy and productive to help calm yourself down. And then there's times where, you know, I'm not gonna lie, I have my moments where I get so frustrated and so angry and so like in my mind that I have to stop myself and cry. And I know some people are like, what? Like, crying really does help relieve all of those emotions and all those feelings that you're going through in the moment, because you can't really cipher through it in that time. It's hard to cipher through it because you have so many thoughts going through your mind. So when you actually break down and cry, and then you're able to pick yourself back up, and then you're just like reflecting on it. And one thing I've learned over the years, and not just with myself but with other people in my life, the thing is that we tend to avoid facing those feelings of pain, those feelings of anger, those feelings of inadequacy, and all the things that we've dealt with, humiliation. We choose to avoid dealing with it or facing it or reliving it. So that's why there's people that go towards drugs or they get medication to help. And I'm not saying medication is a bad thing, because, you know, some people do need it and there's nothing wrong with it. And then there's people that use alcohol to try and numb the feeling of it and to avoid facing it. And for me, I think facing every single trauma that I've been through helped me deal with my anxiety. Like, I'm not going to say that I'm 100% better with it and I have a control over it, because I have my moments. There's times where before we went to Maryland, we moved to Maryland, I had an anxiety attack. And when we were coming back, before we came back, I had a panic attack. So it's not like things are bad. It's a bad thing. It's just your way and your body and your mind of how you're able to deal with it in the moment. For me, I think for me, it's just the fact that you have to be aware of the situation and what people say and what you're doing and what you're going about to understand what's triggering it. And if you're not able to be aware of those things, then it's going to be kind of hard for you to be able to cope with it. For me, I've practiced it so many times because I saw what was happening, and then I was like, I don't want to be that person. And then I brought myself back, and then I did my counting affirmations, and then I just basically woo-saw. So yeah, like, so don't think something's wrong with you if you are not able to do it instantly and it takes you weeks and you're still having the same reactions that you're having before, because I've been doing this for Andrea's 11, so I want to say about 10, 11 years. So it takes a lot of practice for you to learn your triggers, go through the things that happened in your past, relive. You have to relive that pain. You have to relive the humiliation. You have to relive those feelings that you are trying to avoid in order for you to get past it. And it's something that I hope some people hear in this part. Out of everything else, you have to go through it. And even if it means going to a therapist to talk about it, or if you get a psychiatrist to prescribe you medication so that you're able to work through it in the meantime, or if you write it out or do YouTube videos like I'm doing, whatever it is that helps you go through each and every section of your life to help you get over whatever it is that you went through. Some things you can't get over, and I'm not going to bullshit you, because there's some things in my life that I'm not able to get over, or I'm still not over it, and I'm still learning as I'm going. But it still helps you identify with yourself that, okay, this is what I'm going through. This is why I feel this way, because of what happened then. And I'm trying to correlate them to be the same thing, and it's not the same thing. Sometimes it is the same experience that you're going through, and for me, the way I look at it is, whether if you believe in God, Allah, Jehovah, the universe, the law of attraction, it's a lesson for you to learn so that you're able to get past it and move on and forgive and forget, if that makes sense. But yeah, I hope this video was educational. I hope this was helpful. This is kind of what I want to bring to my channel more. I want to be more open and honest with you guys, and I still want to be transparent and share things with you that might help you. I'm not saying I'm perfect in any way. I'm not saying that I got my shit together, because clearly I don't. But I'm just a mom that, you know, I've experienced things, and I've was able to understand my own personal dealings, and you know, I don't know, I just feel like I should be able to help other people not feel the way that they feel. I don't like when people feel like they can't get through whatever it is that they're going through, and regardless of my own situation, I can still see the positivity at everything else. I can still see the positive things that are happening. I can still see the positive vibes that are being sent my way, and I'd rather just look at things in a positive way. I don't know, that's just how I am. I'm a weirdo, I guess. I'm a hot mess, apparently. But yeah, so if you guys want to see more videos like this, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. We probably most likely hit 1,000 subscribers since you guys are, by the time you guys see this, and thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. I don't think I even properly said thank you, because a lot of you guys don't realize that you're the reason why I am where I am now in my life, is because I did follow some of your suggestions. I did swallow my pride and reached out to family and got help, and you know, and accepted, you know, the assistance that I've received now. And you know, and it was kind of hard for me to accept it, because of the fact that I have 5 kids, and you know, it's always that stigma that, you know, you have all these kids, you should be able to afford them, you should be able to take care of them, and I felt like I didn't deserve a lot of the things that I'm receiving. And you know, that's one thing that I had to let go of, because that's part of the law of attraction. The law of attraction basically says that you have to believe that you deserve it and that it's yours already. So we're going to speak things into existence from this day forward. Yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. The baby's knocking on the door for me. I told y'all we can't escape. I love you guys, and thank you guys so much for watching. Bye.
Have you ever felt?
Are you listening? Damn.